What's up, guys? We're back. I just want to show you this real quick. What maybe restores some faith in humanity for you. $95,000 that we have raised with the help of Ziga's Pa, which is the charity that we're working with, and Preston Stewart, who has just been pushing the hell out of our fundraiser. I can't thank these guys enough. But look at this, man. This is what happens when good people can come together. And I'm blown away, and I'm so grateful, and thank you. We have a list of like 150 something items that we have put together. We've gone to all the different commanders of the International Battalion. Uno, Reg, oh shit, Bruce Weiland. All the different commanders said, hey, what is needed the most for your guys? What is needed the most for your guys? Blah, blah, blah. There are things that on this list that are actually going, like genuinely, are going to save their lives. They can now do different operations that were not as possible before. They can now do and operate safer, more effectively. So, I mean, just amazing, you guys. Thank you so much. Now, enough of the sappy shit. I put together another compilation. Sorry, I'm fucking with shit. From Reddit, dude. Like I said, it's been a huge week for me. Reddit, I'm learning. I'm also learning X. Oh shit! Look who we got. Guest appearance, surprise appearance. She's not having that. And Discord. We're starting a Discord channel. We figured this was going to be a good idea because we have such an active community in the comments, people emailing us, all kinds of stuff. So we figure we make a Discord. I can put the X-rated, the R-rated versions of a lot of these videos in there. I don't have to worry about getting banned on YouTube. We can talk. I can answer questions, all that shit. So I'm going to put the link to our Discord in the description below. If you're only like the 5th person in the Discord, don't get all fucking weird about it. It's just because we're just now starting it, okay? All right, let's check this out. I found some really good ones. They're shorter videos, but this is a good one. Footage from the 8th Special Forces Regiment entering a Russian hideout. This is like great camera quality too. It's crazy. A viewer discretion advised. Oh, we're also trying a new camera angle, as you can see. I'll make myself smaller, though. I see, like, this is like what the pros seem to do. They come down here to the corner, so we're going to try this out. Pretty much the biggest fear when it comes to CQB. That moment right there. You're at the entrance. You're in the fatal funnel, is what they call it, right? The doorway where people die. And someone starts shooting at you through the door. Yeah, it might be really loud. Let me turn it down a little bit, guys.
Отходь! Отходь! Херсон! Херсон! Сюда!
Dude, so cool. So there's a few things I want to break down here. First of all, this aerial view right here is such a good example of what combat in eastern Ukraine looks like right now. Tiny villages like this, maybe one or two streets with a few houses like this. That will be the entire village. And it is just basically brutal CQB in and out of these buildings, trying to smoke out the Russians, and the Russians trying to smoke out the Ukrainians. One of the things that can get so messy in this conflict is you could let's use this big house as an example, right? You could have a Ukrainian, let's say, National Guard unit right here, right? And then you could have the Russians right here in this house. And then over here, you could have a TDF unit, which is also a Ukrainian, different branch of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. And then over here, you can have another branch of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. And nobody's talking to each other. So it becomes, when in reality, this could become a relatively easy push if there was proper comms, right, between the TDF, the, who did I say these guys were? I forgot. And then the National Guard guys. If these guys were all had proper comms together, they get together, they come up with a little assault plan, and they go, they smoke the Russians, they kill the Russians here, and they advance, they take the city. But because comms are messy, there's the drones are jamming comms, all kinds of stuff. Blue on blue becomes very prevalent. Friendly fire's a mess out. It can be a mess. And now this entire village becomes hostile, rather than just this one house becoming hostile, because this is the only place the Russians are. But because these guys aren't talking to each other, nobody really knows where the Russians are. It's just, you know what I mean? It's messy, man. And this is why there's not a solid line like in World War I, like a solid good guy line, bad guy line, right? When they talk about front lines. Sorry, that's loud. It's mixed. It's all intertwined. And then sometimes, dude, like you got the Russians here, you got the 3 Ukrainian units here. Sometimes you got a Russian unit over here. It's like, how the fuck did they get there? They like walked in overnight. Nobody saw them somehow. The drones thought they were Ukrainian, so they let them go through. And now you got Russians over there. This sounds crazy, but this is probably a perfect example of what happens. We ran into this situation multiple times in villages like this. All right, I just want to give a quick shout out. These 2 dudes moving up to clear a house with 2 LMGs is fucking rad. That is so cool. This dude's got it looks like a mini-me maybe. My machine gunners let me know. Machine gunner, and then the guy with the GoPro on has a machine gun as well. That is so cool. Guy shoots through the door. Boom. Then this guy retreats around the side of the house, which is actually, I didn't even realize that until we saw it this time around. So the guy that was in the front that got shot at comes around this corner that we're looking at right here. And then the guy with the GoPro falls back on he gets out of the doorway, out of the fatal funnel, falls on his ass, and then returns fire.
Давай, Херсон! Отходь! Отходь! Херсон!
So they return fire, they back out, they get over to their buddies, right? Their buddies over here who were, probably at their staging position or their little safe house. And then they mount an assault, basically. They start firing rockets at it, and then they clear that guy out. Textbook execution. Well done, fellas. Very cool. All right, this I just had to throw in here because it's insane. It looks like the video was taken from a microwave, so bear with me as far as the video quality, but I'll try to point out here what's going on. No audio, so we'll talk over it like I do anyways. Boom. All right, check that out. Ukrainian soldier, Russian soldier, 1v1. I think in the full video of this, it was actually a 2v2, but a 2v1, 2 Russians versus a Ukrainian, but the Ukrainian killed one of the Russians already. Anyways, they're at kind of a stalemate, right? So this Ukrainian takes off his helmet and lobs it over as like a almost like an explosive distraction type device. And then watch, the Russian turns around and runs. As he's retreating, the Ukrainian lights him up, just rinses him. Watch. Here comes the helmet. Boom, helmet. The Russian's like, oh, hell no. Wham, 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 wham. Helmet. Russian dips, turns around. It's too late. Ukrainian's got his ass. Boom. Crazy, dude. To me, that shows just the sheer experience of fighting in a conflict like this, that this guy knew if he tossed something over, it would scare that Russian enough to think it was an explosive, and he would turn around, and that would give him the split second to come around that corner and take him out. That's an experienced soldier right there. You know, your average recruit is not going to think, you know what, let me remove my head safety device and pretend it's an explosive. Fiber optic drones, we've talked about these in the past. Here he comes. Okay, here's our boy right here. Fiber optic drone, okay? You can see the RPG-7 warhead on the bottom here, or some kind of a warhead. They're typically RPG-7s. They're like usually duct taped on. And then on top is the spool of fiber optic line or cable. So this thing is trailing the fiber optic line that looks like fishing wire. It's just, it's not as strong, but it looks like fishing wire. It's super thin, hard to see. And that's how they're controlled. These guys, this drone, they must be coming up and down this pathway a lot, because these guys figured it out. Watch.
Ножницы взял, взял. Вон он идет, сука. Вот он, нет? Вот эти все режь.
They find the line. Can I just get a shout out for pausing it at the perfect moment there? Holy shit. I impressed myself. They find the line. He uses his trauma shears from his IFAK, snips it.
Падай, падай. Ага.
Done. Pretty crazy, right? We're at a stage of warfare that's so advanced that we've got robots killing humans. But at the same point, a pair of scissors can disable that robot permanently. It's so polarized, the war tech right now. But that's cool, man. I mean, that is, the fiber optic drones were Russia's and Ukraine's answer to all the electronic warfare devices that are actually becoming pretty reliable and pretty effective on the battlefield now. Now these EW devices will knock out these drones that just have your standard connection. So the fiber optic drones were an answer to this, so they're hardwired into the actual pilot, so no EW will affect it. And now scissors win this fight. It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Падай, падай. Ага.
I have one of these, well, a few of these, but specifically I have one of these ring my bell in the East on the last deployment, and it gave me a concussion. It was so close to my head, but luckily there was some, I was just underneath, like where the trench was, and it blew up top, so none of the shrapnel could get to me, but the blast wave fucking scrambled my egg and gave me a concussion, dude. And then unfortunately we had another 3 days worth of a mission after that. Those things are nasty. They're still they're up there with my least favorite part of this conflict. Sorry, that's loud. This is a special SSO unit, so Special Forces, Ukrainian Special Forces unit. Just like a highlight reel. They're defending a position. Yeah, right here. So this boy's got the M240. I believe that's the M240. Am I tripping? M240. I get my machine guns mixed up. But this guy's just laying hate down, right? They were obviously getting assaulted. You hear somebody scream right there. Can't tell if it's like a friendly scream. Hey, a friendly scream because, you know, that adrenaline's pumping right here when they start the firefight, or if it was the actual enemy getting annihilated. And then this is what part that I wanted to point out. This dude pulls a Glock and is firing in the direction of the enemy, which is crazy. So it leads me to believe the enemy was right on their position. And that scream that we heard was the enemy getting annihilated. He's right here. This guy's dead checking him with his pistol because the machine gun may not have the line of sight on him because he fell down, which I've seen before. It's actually how our buddy Tex survived when he was ambushed by a PKM. When he fell underneath where the machine gun could see him. He was hit 3 times and he was down here and he was able to crawl out like that. So this guy was like, not on my watch. Dead checked him with his Glock. Usually to get a Glock in Ukraine, you have to do something pretty badass. You get the Glock award. Also, only typically the most special forces in Ukraine will carry a Glock. So these guys are pretty badass. Pretty cool, man. What do we got? Oh, no. This one we're leaving out. French volunteer combat in Ukraine.
Empty.
What? What is this guy doing? This guy's like actively shooting in that direction and the dude just walks out from here. So this is definitely a foreigner unit, right? I've heard a lot of English with accents. It's interesting though. You've got guys with no helmets over here. You've got guys walking out of the brush in the direction that they were firing. You can see they've got decent kit. This guy up here has a sweet like hunting rifle scope on his rifle, and the guy with the helmet cam with the GoPro is rocking a Trigicon ACOG, unless it's a knockoff. These guys both have 40 mic or M203s. Here's our boy that just walks into danger. So that was interesting. That's I'm curious what unit that was. Ambushing. Oh no. I thought we moved that one. Okay, this one. Oops. Man, if you've ever shot one of those things, shooting one in a confined space like this will ring your bell, man. It rings your bell a bit. Firing it in an open environment where you're not enclosed in a room like this.
Бежим, бежим, бежим. Кузнец, знаем, давай, я пока не попал. Все, бежим. Давайте, давайте, давайте. Быстрее, пока
Nice. And who are this? Oh, that's Azov. Azov and Bakhmut. That's freaking badass, dude. All right, we're 20 minutes in. That's cool. Those were sweet, man. I like this new kind of format that we're doing, where I find these videos. Let me know if you like this format, or if you just like the longer form, like 15-20 minute videos. We just watched those. Here we get to see, sometimes we get to see more recent stuff that like had just happened and somebody just uploaded it on the internet that night from the Wi-Fi from their Starlink, while they're in the trench. And then sometimes on the longer form videos, they may be a little bit older, but donate if you want, if you can, cool. If not, send the link to somebody that may give a shit. Azov application, link down below, fill it out. It's like 4 questions. Our guys will reach out to you very quickly, and then you can ask all your questions. And lastly, oh yeah, join the Discord, dude. Let's get this Discord jumping. Link will be below. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.